Good evening. Welcome to Sports Rewind Digital Podcast. I'm joined by Davo and BJ tonight on our first ever live stream. We always record it live, but this time people can actually comment, and let's see if we actually get anybody in there to comment. Fellas, how was the week or the weekend?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Missed out on baseball, so yeah, missed out on the loss for you blokes, but good weekend otherwise.
Mate, all reports you had the coronation party down there at your house. How was it?
Oh, it was good, mate. Tea and scones. So
Yep.
down at the Grange. So, well, actually brought home a lot of silverware. Well, I didn't, but the family did. So,
Mate, run us through that. That was awesome.
So we had our Narara, Wyoming Cricket Club preso on Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon and night. So, the kids and the missus cleaned up pretty much every award that they could win. They did win. So Ashley was best player in her stage. Ella was the best player in her stage. Lauren was the best female cricketer, and a swag of other awards to them. So had to get the wheelbarrow out to take all their trophies home.
Nice, mate.
They showed us up big time.
Mate, some of the photos you sent, I'd tell you what, you would have needed a pretty big car to get them home, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, it was pretty jam-packed in the car, and I must say the best point was that my dad was there, and as a life member of the club, he loved it from a cricket point of view, but also a proud father-in-law and grandfather as well. So it was a good afternoon/night.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Well done to the Lady Davos.
So I took home the bag for my team. So at least I got something. I got the hitting award for my team, but the rest of the teammates let me know about how shit I was compared to the rest of the family.
Yeah. What was your average? You probably only averaged about 80 for the year or something, did you?
No, I was 35. So
35.
380 runs on the year, but yeah, got out a few times. So wasn't quite as good as the daughters, who was around 200, I think. She got out twice, first game and last game. That was it for the whole season. So it's a fair average.
It's unreal. About you, Randall? Bit of baseball on the weekend, mate?
Yeah, as always, mate. Jam-packed weekend for me. All day Saturday, all day Sunday with the kids, and then myself and coaching and stuff like that. So busy. It's good to see the kids all getting a run this week. Rain stayed away, which is always good. Yep. We might have been disappointing, but anyway.
Yeah.
We move on.
Yeah, that's it. You had fun. Out in the sun, mate, having a game of baseball. Who cares?
How's the body today, Mr. Hudson, after throwing 5 gigs?
Feel all right. Not too bad, actually, today. Last couple of days were pretty average. But it wasn't my arm that was sore. It was the rest of my body, my legs and the torso. But, mate, they hit me well. And, we didn't hit enough. That's baseball. And
not going slow enough? Mate, you start out slow and get slower. Haven't I taught you that?
Mate, he's talking out of his backside, mate, because they didn't hit him well at all. I think he gave up a couple of well-hit balls late in the game, and that was it. Other than that, there was a lot of chinkers.
There was a few flares, but, they did what they had to do. We'll see him next round and see what happens.
We just didn't back him up in the field, which hurts a little bit. We had same as Ninja, didn't really back him up. But, considering that's the worst game we've played maybe in 2 years, and we only got beat 8-5. Yeah. So I think we left runners on. I think it got down to end of time, and the last batter call was made, and we had runners on first and second, I think, or something like that, with only one out or something like that. And we'd already scored 2 runs in the inning, so we gave it all the way to the end, which is shows a bit of character. It was good.
Yep.
We just didn't do it early enough.
For sure. How did first and second grade go, mate? I didn't get over there on the Sunday.
Yeah, second grade got up fairly convincingly. I'm not 100% on the score. I'm thinking it was about 13-3 or something like that.
Yep.
I think we hit through I think we hit round in the first inning. So think the number one hitter was running the risk of first and third out. No, sorry, he did. Joshy Judge was first and third out in the first inning.
Stunner Hudson.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
So, team shout. He was lucky, though. They weren't selling beers. They didn't have any.
What do you mean?
And they didn't have any available. They said, we just don't have any. So
what do you mean? Where was this at?
It was at White Sox.
Wow.
At Plattsburgh. So they were all out of beer. So, mind you, Sunday afternoon. Must have been real big. They mustn't have realised we were playing Toronto. Jeez. And then first grade weather affected game. We started an hour late. That big storm come through was sort of right on game time start. So they pushed the game time back. I think we got 6 innings in the end, and we got up 4-2. So again, a fairly depleted side. Same as what we had on Saturday. A lot of people out this weekend. Weekend just gone. Sorry.
We got a bit of hail over our way. I don't know whether it hailed there, but yeah, kids are loving it. Yeah. Even the dog was out in it. Loved it.
Was bitterly cold with the wind, mate. It was.
Yeah. I bet. All right.
What about yourself, mate?
Just the baseball, mate. Baseball, and went back to work. So not much else happening for me.
How did your night shift go, mate? After throwing fire.
Fantastic, mate. It was a pretty quiet shift, so wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad at all.
Yeah, you could have been with the rest of us, mate, at Toronto RSL. Quite a few frozen Mai Tais and frozen kamikazes sliding around everywhere.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I was where I was at, you know.
The boys were very disappointed, though, Davo, that you missed baseball for a coronation party. So,
yeah. Anyway, you'll be back next week, Davo.
Hey.
All right, fellas. The Tid Bits this week. Tid Bits sponsored by Game Day Sportswear, local sporting goods company that will fix up any sort of sporting or workwear uniforms for you. Hit them up on their socials. We're going to jump right into these tidbits. I think it's you up first, Davo, for 3.
Yeah, so good old Jamie Moyer. So when we all know how long he pitched for, but when he retired, he'd faced 8.9%, so nearly 9% of all MLB hitters ever. You think how long baseball's been around for, and it just shows the longevity of the guy. 9% of hitters ever.
Crazy.
So it does your head in a bit, doesn't it, when you try and work out how many batters he would have actually faced?
It's
Do we know? How many seasons did he play? Do we know?
No idea. Over 20. Yeah, 22, I think, or something.
Massive. What a stat! I might have to look that one up. See how many seasons he played.
So the next one is out there as well. Apparently, Ray Caldwell. He was struck by lightning in the 9th inning of the Indians' debut on the 24th of August in 1919. So if that's not bad enough that he got struck by lightning, he then got up and finished the game after being revived. So you see a lot of pitchers come out of a game for any reason today. So he got struck by lightning, was dead, got revived, finished off the game. He then pitched a no-hitter at New York 17 days later. So the bolt of lightning might have done him good, but wow, that's just that's unheard of. That's out there.
Yeah.
And he ended up winning 20 games for the 1920 World Champion Indians like a year later. So, pitchers today have no excuse for coming out of a game unless you've been hit by lightning and revived and staying
crazy.
in.
Yeah, I can't fathom anything like that these days. They get a little twinge and they're out. So
You
anyway,
just can't fathom that in general.
no,
Just
bloke
just
was
on
dead. Bloke was
just
dead,
on
and then revived him, and yeah, I'll finish it off.
Yeah, I'm good to go, Skip.
freak.
Don't take me out, Skip. Jamie Moyer was 1986 to 2012.
Yeah, so 20, just over 25 years, I think it says.
It's a crazy stat. What's
Ridiculous.
it is ridiculous, Randall.
Now, and this last one, it's out of left field. And how people have the time to come up with this crap, I'll never know. But every team in the league has at least one player on their team with all the letters of Astro in their name, except for the Astros. So for those listening, though, you wouldn't see the picture. There's a photo of Marcus Stroman on the screen. So he has Astro in his name. So every team has someone with those letters except the Astros. So there's your useless stat for the day.
How many beers do you reckon he drank before he went, oh, there's Astro in his name? Let's calculate how many others there are.
Yeah.
Okay.
As I say, how much time does someone have? Like, yeah, it's quirky, it's fun, but who comes up with this?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I got nothing. Pretty cool fact, though. Now, I'm going to be looking at that now. So
Yeah, me too.
when you play,
Yeah,
you'll be trying to find your
rosters
Astro in every team.
Yeah.
Surely he's just been on the wacky tobacco or something, just chilling on the lounge, and it just come to him, and then he's just randomly seen another player. Oh, there's one too. Hey, didn't that other guy have that? Oh,
while wearing his tinfoil hat.
You're wearing his tinfoil hat in his undies, armadillo helmet.
For sure. He might have his game day sportswear shirt on as well, I'd say, in there. But the next one, old Bryce Harper. He's been in a bit of the news lately. Boston Red Sox outfielder Yoshida. His favourite player has always been Bryce Harper, and today he finally got to meet his idol. Harper gifted him the MLB rookie, 2 autographed bats, and a pair of his cleats. So pretty cool that he's given back to even the players. I've always liked Harper as a player, and it's good to see him back.
And that's it, because Yoshida named his dog Harper.
Yeah.
So I know I didn't mention it there in the stat, but I think that's one of the things that came up as well. So that's how much he loves Bryce Harper. He named his dog after him.
Yeah.
So good to see that. Yeah, sort of class with class.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
By
the looks of it, yeah. So this is a good little tongue-in-cheek, I suppose. You know, we all know how old Albert is, but I think a little stat come up when the Angels played the Cardinals. I think over the weekend or back end of last week, I think it might have been, and said for the first time ever, the St. Louis Cardinals and Los Angeles Angels are playing each other without Albert Pujols in their lineup. So I believe since they've been called the Los Angeles Angels, possibly, it's the first time that neither team, while playing each other, have had Albert in their lineup. So he's been around for a long time.
Well, they probably didn't have interleague when he first started, so it's probably why they've never played each other.
Yeah, this is true.
Possibly.
Probably it, Davo.
Because when you did start interleague, I know they sort of stayed within sort of leagues and all that, like AL East played NL East sort of thing. So maybe the schedules didn't work out for Angels being in the West, Cardinals being in the Central. Who knows? But it's a fun stat for Albert.
It is. It very well could have, because I remember last year there was a crazy stat floating around that the Orioles were playing at the New Busch Stadium against the Cardinals for the first time ever, and that was last year. And they'd moved from the old stadium 15 years ago or something like that, and it was the first time they'd ever played at the New Busch Stadium. So yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe the lineups have just never come together, or the schedules have never lined up.
So it'll have to
Pretty
be
cool,
that.
though.
It is cool.
It's a weird stat, weird little bit.
We love it. Love the weird tidbits.
Oh, this one popped up today on my socials, and I had to grab it. Joel Youngblood entered his name into the record books with hits for 2 teams on the same day in 1982 during his 14-year career. So obviously, that's a pretty cool little thing. Like, no one else has ever had 2 hits for 2 different teams on the same day. So I thought, I need to find out more about this one. So I did actually do a little bit of research, surprisingly. So he was actually playing for the Mets and was dealt midway through a game to the Expos. So he was playing at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. He hit a single in the 3rd, got dealt midway through the game, left, jumped in a cab, jumped on a plane, and flew to Philadelphia to meet up with the Expos, who were playing a night game in Philly. He ended up playing in that game and singled in the 7th for the Expos.
Nice.
That's unreal.
Went from it, traded halfway through a day game, jump on a plane straight away. You land in the new place, jump straight in the game.
That's unbelievable.
Pretty cool little start. Like that'll never ever get. No one will ever do that again.
No.
The way things are, I think we might have gone close last year. I think with Boston. I think was it Vasquez?
Yeah, the catcher.
Vasquez was traded during warm up. And the 2 teams were actually playing each other. So he packed up his gear and walked to the other dugout.
Yeah. So he did warm up with Boston, found out he was traded, gave his hugs, gave his goodbyes, walked to the other dugout, and was in. I don't think he appeared in the game, but he was in Houston uniform for that game.
Yeah, crazy, and he found out from the media too.
Yeah.
I see ya.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal, isn't it?
It's a business.
But I don't think you'll never see it. You never see them actually play in 2 games in a day. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either, mate. I don't think so either. This one's been all over social media, Twitter, and a couple of other podcasts I listen to. Miss Oakland A's legend, Vida Blue. Mate, he was a 3-time World Series champ, 6-time All-Star, Cy Young Award winner, MVP. Went on. He also played for the Giants. He also went on and did a lot of commentary with the Oakland Athletics. Absolute legend in the game. And rest in peace. They say he was pretty close to the Hall of Fame, but didn't get there. But yeah, another legend gone from the sport. So
I love the old A's uniform.
Me too. It's unreal. Anyway, fellas, that rounds out our tidbits for the week. Thanks again to Game Day Sportswear. Appreciate the support.
Good hard 90, boys.
Hard 90. You'll be oddy. And appreciate your support. And if you look after a sporting club or a business, hit them up on socials and they can hook you up with a price. That's for sure. Right, fellas, we're going to move on. Let's go to NRL next. Randall's there fumbling away for his NRL stats.
Yeah.
You just want to talk about the Tigers, mate.
Mate, I'll talk about the Tigers straight up. 2 in a row. That's all I've got to say. 18-16 win.
Over the Dragons.
You're beauty.
Magic round. What'd you make of it?
Also, tough week for footy tipping.
Oh,
I know that. I know.
No. The who?
But
I think I started off strong. I think I went the first 3 and then didn't get another one all weekend.
Yeah.
So.
It's a great round, but as we talked last week, Suncorp just wasn't up to it. The surface was just atrocious. And it's always going to be hard when you're playing that many games on the one field over the space of 3 or 4 days, but and the weather they had.
But to
as
play there
well.
the week before and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah,
they should give it 2 weeks rest prior.
Yeah.
To having bloody 8 games there or whatever, and then give it a week rest next the week after, and it'll be fine. But
it's a pinnacle event. It's one of the ones they look forward to in the season. So you'd want everything done right to make sure it's a full success.
Yeah,
for sure.
From what I've seen, I only watched the highlights. I didn't see any full games, but it just looked an absolute mess.
It has
your top level teams, your top level in the sport playing on that. So
and it's going to happen. Like it's going to get chopped up and whatnot. But I know. My other bugbear is always too that Brisbane are up there and it's an away game for them.
Yeah.
Oh, that they'll still get their other 13 home games plus this game. Come on, get real. It's a home game for them. Make it a home game. Don't make it another team's home game that they don't get to play at home and they still get to play extra games there. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yes. Couple of scores. Obviously, the Raiders 34 over Davo's Doggies 30. Did you watch that, Davo?
No, I was out and about, but the Dogs fought back well. They were down by about 16 or 18 early in the first half. So to sort of fight back was a fair effort. I thought they might have snuck in the win, but not to be.
No, Raiders hung in there, mate. They kept that dream alive. They were they were not clinical, but they got the job done.
Yeah.
Doggies still got a fair few out, so they're on the improve. That's all that matters. Broncos 32 belted the Manly Seagulls 6. That didn't quite go how I thought it would. I took the Broncos for the win, but I thought it might have been a bit closer than that.
Yeah.
Eagles are struggling. They got done by the Titans last week, flogged by the Broncos this week. So worrying signs there at old Brookie. I love it.
Yeah, me too. Don't worry. I love it too. It's great. But I wouldn't want to be the team playing them this week. There might be a bit of a point to prove. There might be a bit of a score. Panthers 18 over the Warriors 6. Pretty good game as well. Pretty wet game from what I saw. It looked like it was wet. I only saw bits and pieces of it.
Storm just rolled through. Typical Brisbane. Sort of, it was fine. All of a sudden, Storm rolled through, then nicked off, and away you go. Sunny
away
again.
You go. Okay, back on. Then the Dolphins, fins up, 36-16 over the Sharkies. We actually got to the RSL, and I looked at the telly, and I think it was like 30-0 to the Dolphins, and I was like, oh geez, this game's over. Sat down, had a couple of beers, looked back up, and it was 30-10, and it was like, oh yeah, we're going into half time, and I was like, sorry, what? I thought this was the second half, and it was 30-10 at half time. I didn't know what was going on. So only 2 tries in the second half, but Dolphins. You can't. I suppose you've got to stop saying now, don't you, that it's they're upsetting teams. They're looking the real deal.
Wayne Bennett's 900th victory as well.
Yeah, never heard of her.
He's been around a while, hasn't he? Didn't do much for the Knights, Randall.
I was going to say, did nothing for the Knights.
No.
Not much for the Dragons either.
He got him a premiership, didn't he?
May have, but not much.
Rabbitohs 28 over the Storm 12. I didn't actually pick that. I thought Melbourne might have been a bit better than that, but nope. Bunnies are still firing along nicely.
Yeah, they've hit a purple patch, the Bunnies, so they're just chugging along nicely.
Yeah, I don't know how long that'll last, but ride it while you can, don't they say?
That's it.
And then, Hutto, your Tigers, mate. 18-16 over the Dragons, mate. You
Yeah,
must have
good
been
are they?
cheering.
Mate, when I seen it, I think I sent you the message straight away.
Yeah.
I was all over it. It was
Oh,
fantastic.
stoked.
Catching up to those nights.
They are, mate. They are, but they had a narrow win in Golden Point over the bye, so they got the 2 points this week, fortunately.
Only just, Randall.
Golden Point, mate. Golden Point, but that's all that matters.
While we're talking about the Knights, what do you fellas think about their little week away in Bali? Someone went to Bali and
apparently it was only one that went to Bali. Only one person did.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I read today, that it was only actually one bloke, Bradman Best, that went there. That's it.
So it was a whole media G up as per usual.
I don't know, mate. Couldn't tell you. You know what it's like.
They wouldn't do that, would they? The media? Never.
Oh God, no. No. They don't do that sort of thing, mate. If they write something, you know it's true, and you should go by it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about this one? Cowboys 20 over the Roosters 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone picked that?
Up. No.
They're lacking.
Ugh, bloody hell. Roosters, they're on struggle street too, aren't they? They're in real trouble.
And the Cowboys had been struggling beforehand, so it's like the way they'd been playing. You think, okay, yeah, Roosters should do this pretty easy.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And then Parramatta back to their ways, beaten 26-24 by the Titans. How good is that?
Well, it shows Titans it wasn't a 1 week wonder beating Manly at Brookie. Yep. So you can't really call it a fluke now, can you? They've backed it up by beating Eels.
Mm-hmm.
What's who's on top of the table, Randall? How's the table looking, mate?
The Broncos, mate. Broncos are sitting at the tippy top on 16 points, ahead of the Rabbitohs on 14, Penrith 12, along with Sharks, Dolphins, Storm, Titans, Roosters, and the Raiders, all on 12. Wow. So that's all the way down to 10th place. In 10th place there you've got Manly on 11, Warriors on 10, Newcastle on 9, then Parramatta, Cowboys, Dirty Dogs, all on 8, and then the West Tigers and the Dragons equal last on 6. So, mate, it's good, mate. You're moving up. It's all that matters. Equal last, not dead last.
Well, they reckon mate from the Dragons, he's a dead man He's been a dead man walking since the start of the season. I think it's just coming. Griffin, yeah. I think it's only going to be, I reckon, another loss next week. And bye-bye.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough challenge for them, actually. They've got the Cowboys, the Dragons, so...
Yeah.
The Tigers are hard up, too, though. They're playing the Bunnies. So...
Bunnies are red hot. I think they're going to go on and win it this year.
Yeah.
My pick after seeing them for a few weeks in a row, playing well. I think they're
the right way.
Going to be up there. That's for sure.
Thursday night looks good, though. We've got the Broncos versus Storm. That'll be a cracking game, I think.
Up there?
No, down in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got to give that ground a rest for sure.
They have to. But Storm are $1.70 favourites. So
that's surprising. I thought it'd be about $1.90, $2 or something.
Yeah, I thought it would have been a pretty close, even split. Sort of $2, but nope. Yeah. Even Friday night, Doggies versus Warriors. That could be anything. Roosters Panthers this week as well. That could be a cracking game. I think the Penrith are a bit short though at $1.50. I think. I don't think they've been as good as they should.
Yeah.
They've done enough to win, but haven't really set the world on fire to warrant $1.50.
No, I agree. But the closest by the looks of it is the Knights versus Titans this weekend on Sunday. $1.95 the Knights are paying, and $1.85 for the Titans. So it's a pretty even split there.
That is pretty even.
And then rounding out the weekend is Manly versus the Sharkies. I think that should be Manly got to step it up.
Yeah.
I'm okay if they don't, but they need to turn it up.
It's got the potential to be a good game, but the way that Manly's played the last couple of weeks, can you back them? I don't know.
Don't know. You got to think, that they've just been pumped 2 weeks in a row. They've got to come out firing. And the Sharkies getting beat by the Dolphins on the weekend, they're going to fire. Surely they've got to come out firing too.
Yeah.
And then the old Fins up have got the bye. Flipper has a rest.
There you go.
That rounds out our rugby league.
What's your thoughts on the round from the last weekend? Do you like the whole idea of them being together or not?
Yeah, well, I think it's good for the game. I think get everybody up there and whatnot. Go there and have a full house. But
game after game.
Yeah, surely it's not a bad thing for the sport. It's just the ground, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably should be a showcase to even possibly take to another city that doesn't normally have the footy.
Yeah.
Like, I understand go to Brisbane this time of year. It's probably nicer up there than what it would be down here in Sydney or Melbourne. Canberra. But why not take it be like the AFL? AFL took a whole round to Adelaide. Maybe go to a city that doesn't normally hold the footy.
Optus Stadium. They've probably got AFL there, I suppose.
But if you're going to make it a showcase and you want to make it truly a national rugby league, take it somewhere. Even take it to the bush. I know several games go to the bush anyway, but if you found a decent enough stadium in the bush somewhere, or another capital, down to Hobart, they're about to get an AFL stadium. I don't know. It's a good concept. I like it, but just, why I was up at Suncorp.
Darwin. Go Darwin. Cairns.
Why not? Yeah, Cairns is a good one. There's plenty of options. I just think it's cool that they can play together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the ground is that big concern, but it's over now for another year. They can get their ground sorted for a couple of weeks' time when they play there again and go from there. All right, fellas, that rounds out the NRL. We've got bits and pieces from here on in for the night. We've got little bits and pieces that we're sort of all going to comment on. And
you're talking about the ground chopped up. That could lead into
absolutely could lead into something, Davo, if I could find it, But yeah. What about that, Davo? What a segue.
You can't have it both ways.
You can't.
Yes, they want the prestige of holding the event and the money that goes with it and the shot around the world so they see the golf course, but you got to understand you're going to have damage done.
That party hole got so much beer thrown around. It would have been just sloppy as underneath those stands and, wherever everyone walked and stood and partied for those 3 days, not 4 days. And, yeah, you got to expect it, don't you?
And this is probably the 80-year-old members who play once a week on a Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock. Never stick around. They play their game and go home. Never put any money in the club or anything like that. It's probably these guys that are out there whinging.
Barry was going to get a birdie, but he hit a world track and went left. So he ended up with 3 over.
Yep. And I reckon it would be those guys. It's not you guys that sort of play every week and then go back in the clubhouse, support the club and all that. It's probably just your old your old members who, they're out there first thing and then nick off.
Yeah.
But-
You're right.
For sure.
You're like you said, you can't have it both ways. You either want the big crowds and the publicity, which comes with drawbacks, or you don't.
Yeah.
But
No.
the strange part would be the fairways and greens would still be immaculate because they never went near that. So it must
That's
be
right.
the hackers that are whinging where they're hitting their ball into the trees, into the rough and all that, where they're in trouble because we all watched some of the golf. They never went down the fairways. The grandstands were built behind the greens, so
Yeah.
must
There
be
must-
hackers out there.
There's probably plenty of them too, Davo, that's for sure.
All
This
of us
one from
included.
Yeah. Mate, I don't even own golf clubs anymore. That's how good I am at golf.
Yours
This
are
one
burnt,
from
aren't they?
today. What was that, Randall?
Yours are burnt, aren't they?
Yeah, they sure are. They were disintegrated along with everything else in the house.
Mate, you can buy kids' clubs, so you'll be right. They're the right height.
I could. Now, this one, fellas, today. Now, one of you blokes brought up the Sale GP when it was in Sydney months ago. But I noticed this one in the news today. The Aussies won the grand final in San Francisco, beat New Zealand and Great Britain. So great to see the Aussies up there kicking ass in that.
What hasn't Slingsby won? He's won Olympic gold. He's won Commonwealth gold. I think he's even been a captain for America's Cup team, hasn't he? I think
I'm not sure of that one.
But I know he's been on those boats, so it's like, what can't that guy do? But that would have been a good spectacle over in San Francisco because, as we know, the waters, it's not calm over there. It's always windy.
No. Yeah.
So they would have got some speed going.
Might get hit by a baseball too there in the splashdown area.
Straight into McCovey Cove. Look out.
What else have we got here? I'm going through a few things and I'm going to try to save all the baseball for later. But the NFL today released its new schedule. There's also a few changes. So the NFL will have a Black Friday game for the first time ever. We don't have huge Black Friday over here. I guess shopping-wise, online shopping and that is starting to get a bit more popular in Australia, but we don't really have it over there, so no big deal to us. This one, the games don't belong to the networks anymore. That all the games are free agents, so that's pretty cool, except for I know with the MLB TV, I don't have Apple TV, and I know Davo has Apple TV. I can't watch. I've got an MLB TV subscription and can't watch the games that are on Apple TV, but those that have Apple TV don't get the rest of the MLB TV games. So I don't know how that's going to work, actually.
And that's quite frustrating too when you want to watch your team and you pay I don't even remember what it is that I pay for a subscription. It's 200 and something odd bucks.
You got ordered, mate. It's only 130
US.
Aussie. You got rorted.
Yeah, but how do you? What are you paying for? You're paying for those games, and they go, oh, by the way, you can't watch your team play this week today because it's going to be an Apple TV subscription or a
Yes network. That sort of thing. It's a lockout. It's a lockout unless you have like the Yes network and those sort of things. So will be interesting.
It will
especially for international viewers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Teams can be on Thursday night football twice. I like the idea of Thursday night football because we get games on a Friday.
Friday morning.
Friday lunchtime.
Absolutely. Not all teams are guaranteed to have a prime time spot, which, in Australia, we always get, the Patriots We always get the Yankees with baseball. Those bigger name teams and teams that have sort of always been on. So hopefully that means we're going to get a good mix of games on our free to air over here.
You probably we get pretty lucky with the NFL, I think, because of the timing of when they play. There's nothing else really on at those times of day. So yeah, they get a little bit more free reign, I guess. Where with the baseball, you sort of get one game every second day or whatever, and it's usually at 9 o'clock in the morning when there's no any other sport on that would normally be on in our winter.
Yeah,
and which is usually an East Coast team. Generally, they're 7 p.m. games at 9 a.m. for us. So yeah, and then you might get lucky and spin a lunchtime game from a West Coast. Yeah,
go them Giants.
But that's it. Like normally, when you wake up on a Monday morning, there's game on at 3 o'clock or 3 a.m. The game at 5 a.m. So you're right. There's not a whole lot of live sport on at that time. So it does work out well.
Yeah, agreed. The next one, I'm just going to run through our F1. Now, followed F1 a little bit this year, mate, and it is really good to see those Ferraris right down there in the championship points at 4th. Red Bull Racing and Max Verstappen are absolutely killing it. Aston Martin jumping up a few spots this year. Fernando Alonso is going off there. But Ferrari, 78 points down there with McLaren. But while I've got you guys, I just want to run through this with the F1. Lewis Hamilton, what is this? This is what he walked into I guess the pit lane area, and is he going for a spot in Zoolander or
either that or maybe like he's looking for Zoltan or something from Dude, Where's My Car? Or I don't know.
Mate, when you're the GOAT, you can do what you want, can't you?
Oh, you can do whatever you want.
With the millions and millions and millions of dollars that he's got.
Yeah.
0 F's given.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
But you look at that points table, and Ricciardo looks a genius for leaving McLaren and just being a backup driver for Red Bull, who won't even get a go. But you look at McLaren there on 14 points. You'd be better off not racing at all than suffering through what they are.
Yeah.
But it's all those teams, isn't it? Like, you look at that, like, no one's going to catch Red Bull.
No.
And it's surprising to see Aston Martin up that high. Like,
as
you say, they've never really done anything. Like, I know they're relatively new, but Mercedes normally goes a lot better. I should say Mercedes and Ferrari.
Yeah, they're usually battling it out.
Yeah, they're a long way off the pace, aren't they?
They are, but they are a long way off the pace, and mate, it's just good to see. I guess different teams up there, even Haas. Watching that Drive to Survive series, it's pretty cool to see all these different teams and some of the characters behind it. I didn't really follow Formula One until sort of the last season, and I guess it was because of that Drive to Survive that I sort of tuned into it. All right, fellas, we got some baseball to finish off with. Let's talk some local baseball. As you said before, Toronto Tigers in first grade beats White Sox 4-2. The other first grade game, Belmont had a bye. Boomerangs 2, Phoenix Charlestown 2. They had a bit of a rain delay, and they had a game of spoons. Did you see that on social media, fellas?
No, I didn't.
Mate,
Dickie Van Dyke. Spoons.
Dickie Van Dyke, if you are listening, you are the greatest spoons player I have ever seen. ever, hands down. But if you haven't seen the Game of Spoons, go over to the Phoenix Charlestown Baseball Facebook page and check out the Game of Spoons. I don't have it here right now, but yeah, the young rookie there, he did cop a few good knocks to the head, that's for sure. Couple of good games of spoon.
There's always one, isn't there?
There is. Second grade, 11-3 in favour of Toronto, and Boomerangs 8 defeated Phoenix 6. Let's run through the second and third grade. The third and fourth grade. So White Sox 8 defeated Phoenix 2. Belmont 8 tied with Maitland 8.
That was a surprise when I read that in third grade.
Interesting. And Boomerangs beat Toronto 8-5, as discussed earlier. Fourth grade, 6-all White Sox and Phoenix. Belmont 9 defeated Maitland 6. And Toronto 3 were defeated by Boomerangs 13. Fifth and sixth grade, Phoenix were defeated by White Sox Red, and Boomerangs 20 defeated Maitland 5, and the Lake Camels 16 defeated White Sox Blue 2, and in sixth grade, White Sox 12, Phoenix 3, Maitland 10, Boomerangs 9. Nice close game there. Another close game. Lake Camels defeated Belmont Seagulls 11-8. So a couple of close games there in fifth and sixth grade.
There was more games on Sunday, I think, mate.
Was there?
Yeah.
My bad.
I think Toronto played on Sunday.
Missed them completely. There we are.
Loss, I think.
Yep.
Belmont 9 defeated Toronto 3-5s, and Nelson Bay beat Woodbury CM 8-5. 9-7 Belmont over Toronto in sixth grade, and CM 7 over Nelson Bay 1. So who do you know who Toronto's got coming up, Randall, in this weekend?
Yeah, so I know third and fourth grade we have White Sox.
White Sox at White Sox.
And first grade will be Belmont at Belmont.
Okay.
On Sunday. So should be a good game.
Yeah. That will be good.
I assume, you'll have Alexander Wells throwing a couple of innings.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting to see.
Yeah, it'll be good to see. Good battles. That's for sure.
Yeah, especially with some of those blokes like Boss, Cambo, Moko.
Yeah.
Should be interesting.
It will be very interesting.
Should be a good matchup for both teams, I think, just to see where they're both at.
Yeah. And I think Wells will be starting to throw a few more innings now too. He's had a few sort of 3 and 4 inning sort of stints. Not that he has needed to at any stage yet, but obviously he'll build to a little bit more for later on in the season.
They've still got other arms floating around too, they're not short of arms or anything like that. So, yeah.
No, it would be quality.
Build up, mate. He'll just build up, I assume. Same as what you would normally do. And, yeah.
Right.
We'll see.
We will. All right, I'm going to go through the standings, I guess, of what we're seeing now with the MLB. So Tampa Bay still way out in front of their division, 29-7. It's still just they're absolutely dominating. Baltimore.
They're playing Baltimore at the moment. So the Tampa Bay beat Baltimore today 3-0.
Yeah, quality game. Did you catch much of it?
I did. I watched it all. It was a bloody good game.
It was a good game.
Yeah. That's actually the first series opener the Orioles have lost this year. So they're now 11-1 for series openers. So, yeah, again, talking about good challenges, it's a good challenge for them to see where they really are at, I think. Yeah. They've played some teams that aren't doing so well. So, yeah. I thought they hung in there well. How good is that?
It is fantastic. Your Boston's doing all right, mate. They're 583 and coming fourth in the division. They're 8 games behind with a 583 percentage.
Yeah.
That's
And
insane.
we talked about in every other division except the NL East, they'd be first.
Yeah.
And they're coming second last in the division.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And they're about to play the Braves. So I don't see them improving much. So that'll be a good test for them.
No, the Orioles just had the Braves over the weekend. I think Orioles went down 2-1 in the series, and I think they had a big blowout in game 1 where the Orioles ran away with it. They scored 5 or 6 runs, I think, in one inning late in the game in the 7th inning. And then the other 2 games, I think they lost by 1 or 2 runs in 2 games.
Yeah.
So I don't think Boston will be far off that pace, mate. They've got the bats that can do it. It's just their pitching, which is gonna worry them, isn't it?
Yeah.
The surprise there is the Tigers. They're starting to warm up a bit. Like I know they're still sub 500, but they were right down the bottom for a while. So they're slowly finding a little bit of form.
They got
terrible
Cleveland
division
at the moment, so
that'll be a good what series. What are they doing?
Who's that, mate?
Chicago White Sox. What's happened to them? They've just fallen off the face of the earth.
Yeah, they're horrible. Hitting has been. As you know, I follow them a bit. I can't stand to watch them. The hitting's been terrible this year.
Who did they just lose? Did they just lose? Was it Eloy or?
No. Yeah, I can't tell you, Randall, but it wasn't Eloy, I don't think.
Okay.
We'll have to have a look back.
What
Minnesota.
The play today, it's Babu from Detroit caught one in the nuts and then got tagged out on the stolen base attempt. How that ended up in his glove, I will never know.
That was a kill Badu or whatever, was it?
Yeah.
Is that who it was? A kill Badu? Yeah.
Yep. Stealing second base, copped it in the nuts. Then the glove comes through, ball into the glove, still before the base. So
unreal.
So what have we learned from that?
Don't steal.
Perfect.
Okay. Just don't send me. Texas 21-13. They're way out in front. No, not really way out in front. I guess LA Angels have been pretty good. The last 10, they're 6-4.
2 back.
Yep. Houston 17-18. Seattle disappointing. Oakland being Oakland. Atlanta have been hot. They're 24-11. Last 10, they've had 7 wins. So I think they had a 6-game streak before the Orioles, didn't they, Randall?
Yeah.
From memory.
Look at that runs against. 132. Yeah, mind you, when you look down further, look at the Cubbies there. Cubbies are 3rd in the Central. They've only given up 125 runs.
Yeah.
Can't score runs.
Crazy. New York Mets, what are they doing? The days that the pitchers are on, the hitters don't hit. They don't hit and pitch in the same day. It's brutal to watch.
Well, look at Verlander.
Yep.
Verlander's first start off the DL, he went 5 innings, gave up 1 home run, and I think they lost 1-0.
Yeah.
So that sort of sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. And same as Scherzer comes back from his suspension and just gets absolutely towed up.
Yeah, he did.
They both went against Detroit, team they used to play for.
Yep. Miami not doing a great deal either, but they're holding in there at 17-19. Philadelphia absolutely putrid, and Washington are putrid and beat the Giants 5-0 today. Scored 5 runs. 5-1, sorry. 5 runs in the top of the first off 7 hits, I think it was. And the Giants had their number 1 pitcher so far this year, just got absolutely
Shelled.
Shield in the first. DeSclafani. It was brutal to watch. I turned it off after 4 innings. It was just double play after double play when Giants were hitting. So I was out. Pittsburgh Pirates, fellas. Now, last week we were talking about them. They had a pretty hot run. I think they had a 6-game losing streak at one stage. So their last 10, they're 3-7. But if we go down to the team behind them, Milwaukee, they did exactly the same thing. So Milwaukee had a 5 or a 6 game loss period as well. So
yeah, they're 4-6 in their last 10 as well. So
gave them a bit of breathing space there, I guess. But
it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
And St. down the bottom.
Yeah.
12 and 24.
Yeah,
and moving Contreras out of and they're moving Contreras out of full-time catching. He's going to be a DH/outfielder and catch the occasional game. Now he was the guy who signed big money to be Yardia's replacement.
Yeah.
So that hasn't worked out too well for him.
Not at all. Yeah, Randall, you're talking about winning the series opener or whatever with the Orioles. St. Louis haven't won a series opener yet.
Yeah. They're on the absolute opposite end of the scale.
I think they're 0-12. The thing was, I watched one of their series openers the other day, and they rested Trout. Like, are they not trying to win one of these series openers, or I just don't understand. Like, I know they have to sit players and stuff like that, but that would be something sitting in their mind that you'd want to break. You would think, but anyway,
who look at that game because she said Trout.
Oh, my bad. I'm talking
for the Cardinals now. Is he?
No, I was talking about. Sorry, the LA Angels did the same thing the other day, where they haven't gone with full strength team, and they haven't won a series opener for 4 series. So.
For 4 series, yeah.
My bad. But the Cardinals haven't won 1 in 12, I think it is.
Yeah, they haven't
won one all year.
No, so they've been putrid. And like you look at, like Goldschmidt has done very little this year, and then the other day he just goes out and hits 3 bombs in a game.
Yeah.
Like, they just I can't work him out.
Others aren't stepping up. It's like I think Nolan's been Nolan. He's been a little bit quiet with the bat. Goldschmidt's warming up, but besides those two, no one's really doing much for them.
What's their
pitching? Pitching hasn't been
what's
great.
Their pitching doing? I don't even know what their pitchers have been doing at the moment. Like I haven't.
You still got Waino.
Can't play that video.
Waino's still there. Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, he's back healthy, isn't he?
Oh, if that's what you call it, I guess. Montgomery.
Mikolas signed a big contract before at the start of this year, so he should be doing better than what he is.
Got a good looking Mo though.
I don't know. He's been hit and miss for a little bit. I think he's been. Yeah, that's probably what's really hurting him. Quality pitching.
Yeah. Nah, it's been pretty putrid to see. That's for sure. Righto. I'm got to get back to where I was. The MLB standings.
Here we go.
I know, how hard is it? What are we up to? So we're talking about the St. Louis
Cardinals. West.
Have just signed Mike Trout. That's what we're talking about.
Cardinals.
The Dodgers, mate. The Dodgers, 21-15, have just taken over Arizona this week. Arizona are still playing really well. 20-15. San Diego, 18-17. San Francisco and Colorado right out of it.
Dodgers are scoring some runs there,
They
as
are.
usual.
Big difference again. So plus 37 with a difference. So, plenty of baseball on and plenty of different teams to watch and follow, I guess. A few different pieces from this week. A few of these are for you, Randall. Boston Red Sox, mate. They won 7 straight.
8 straight. Actually,
straight
went
now.
to 8 straight. Now, they lost. Who'd they lose to? The Phillies, I think. But, yeah, they did get to one. They won 8 in a row.
Yeah.
So that's what's kept them going.
They lost to the Phillies. Ugh.
Yeah.
The Cardinals lost 7 straight. The worst record in the National League. Sonny Gray, the only qualified pitcher in the MLB with an ERA below 1. That's pretty
He's been
epic.
on fire. He's been pitching so well. It's back to like he was with the Reds initially, wasn't he? So he had a few good years with the Reds. Then just sort of, I'm not sure if it was injuries, but he just sort of petered out a little bit. But he's found that groove again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been throwing well again. So
the old Mexico series threw a few spanner in the works for the Giants. Had a little bit of a couple of spicy tacos or something. They did pick up a new sponsor though. They were hooked up with dude wipes after the players got the shits in Mexico.
So poor buggers.
Mate, it would be like the Knights going to Bali, I guess, getting a bit of Bali belly coming back and
100%.
Australian cricket team going to India.
Yeah. Can you imagine that though, going through the team? Like you're on your privately chartered plane or whatever to going from San Francisco to your next game, Washington, and everyone's got the runs. How bad would that be on the plane? Only 2 crappers or something like that. But
it'd be like Randall disappearing a couple of weeks ago off the podcast.
Yeah,
it would be actually.
While we're talking about the old, rough belly, what about this guy? What happened here? Can anyone explain that from today? Was it just?
No, I didn't see it. I only saw it when it started popping up on socials, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
A bit of dodgy belly. Might be the fact that the Royals weren't doing so well. I think they were down.
Maybe. In saying that, it's a mere Garrett, so it's it's a late guy coming in.
6 pitches in, so it's not like he'd been out there for a while.
You know what? The best thing here is that there's coaches out there and trainers out there straight away holding his hair, mate. If that was you, Randall, I wouldn't be holding your hair, mate.
You would have got me a kebab. You would have got me a kebab, mate.
That's the Sunday game in Tamworth, isn't it?
It looks like it. That looks like it. Maybe a bit warm for Tamworth.
Yeah. There's no ice on the grass.
Fellas, this one was an interesting one from the week. We all talked about this one during the week. How cool is this? The longest and shortest MLB outfield walls mashup.
It's pretty
Fenway
good.
Park might be short at 310, but they've got the huge.
Got to be a moonshot.
Yeah.
And you know why the monster was put in? The owner at the time saw what was happening. Like Wrigley Field was built the same year, and saw what was happening at Wrigley, where he thought, people could see from the houses into the game. So he didn't want the businesses or the houses around Fenway. He didn't want people seeing in. So that's why he built such a big wall, was to stop the locals watching the game for free. Making them buy a ticket and go in.
So he was being a cock. He was being a cocksucker, and that's how he got the green monster.
Yep.
Pretty much. Didn't want people seeing in. That's why it was built so high.
The big one that surprises me actually is that left field fence. the long one, Camden Yards. The new fence they put in last year. It's now, I didn't realise it's now the biggest or the longest left field
And
fence.
they've moved it in too, didn't they?
No, they
Did
moved
they
it
move
out.
They moved it out and straightened it up.
Moved it out, straightened it up, and went high. So it's now 2 panels high instead of the your standard 1 panel high.
There's still some crazy kink or something, isn't there? Or
So basically almost like what you can see on that picture where it runs this dead straight line and then it jags basically straight back out towards second base where the end of the bullpen is.
Yeah, right.
So there's basically like two right angles out there. So like a straight Z in center left.
It's a bit like Fenway as well. You look at Fenway right field where Pesky's pole is, it's like 280 or something, and then it juts out to 380, not that far out. So it really sort of elongates that that arc.
Actually,
but
it has it there. Fenway 302.
Yeah, 302 to 380. Yeah.
Yeah, Pesky's pole.
Pesky pole. Yeah.
If you are just listening on the podcast rather than seeing, it's a pretty cool image to look at. Do yourself a favor and go and have a look at it on YouTube because it shows several different fields and different lengths, and it's just a pretty cool image.
That is a really cool thing to look at when you look at that where right field line, Fenway is the shortest right down the line at 302, and then you probably go in maybe, I don't know, what do you reckon, 10 feet infield, and all of a sudden you've got Fenway as the longest.
Yeah,
that is a really steep jump, isn't it? Like
it is.
Yeah, you really want to hook one down the line.
That's what they say. You've got to hook it down the line. And imagine just being an outfielder at any spot at Fenway. Really, it's like left field. Yeah, you got the bounce off the monster. Center field, you've got that tricky part right out there where the fence goes, and then you've got the monster. Right field, you've got Pesky's pole, and that goes deep into
the
bullpens. So
it's just really it's that real home field advantage.
Yeah,
like it's probably the same as Houston, isn't it? Where we've got the Crawford boxes in left.
Yep.
And then there's that straight line that ducks out, towards center left or center field there, where it's a weird corner and
and there's there's not too many like Dodger Stadium where it's just your true arc, or Kauffman Stadium's a bit the same. The old school sort of just round, even Wrigley a little bit. I know it's sort of long, but it's just no juts, just a brick wall.
That's it. No foul lines, no foul territory really right down the line either, is there? Once you get out deep.
It's good to see, I should say, home field advantage.
Mate, all these stadiums you talk of, nothing beats the old Marathon Stadium for the Hunter Eagles, the big black
mesh giant
at centre right, where you had 2 second basemen. That was fantastic. How good was that?
A bit like Paul Oval down here on the Central Coast, where you had very short right field, and you could stand under tree branches. Someone would hit a pop up. It'd hit one little branch, you'd still catch it, but it's a home run. Or good old Vales Point.
Vales Point was good value.
Vales Point, where you had the 800-foot centre field.
There's plenty of them.
20 down the lines.
They're polo grounds.
Yeah.
The other good stadium is the old Yankee Stadium. What about this one? One of you blokes sent me through this late today. Can't remember who it was.
Yeah, it was
Take me through it. How good is it?
It is pretty good. As much as I hate the Yankees and how badly they're doing, which is so good. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Like Nestor Cortez, 26 career starts at Yankee Stadium and has not allowed more than 3 runs in any of those starts in the Bronx. It's the longest such streak in franchise history. That's pretty cool stat, actually. Like,
it's unbelievable when you think about it.
He's a crafty old character, though. Like,
Oh, he is. Did you see? He went for a quick pitch the other day. Umpire didn't allow it. So the following pitch, he had the longest wind up. He did the full shimmy. He did the shuffle. He elongated the wind up. So the batter and the umpire, they had no doubt. Yeah, he's not quick pitching that time.
I didn't see that one. We'll have to have a look.
It's good. I don't mind him. He's a good character. And I suppose, he's got a pretty good defense behind him too, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So not giving up more than 3 runs or whatever a game. Yeah, it's not really surprising.
It helps being a lefty there too, because you're probably going to face predominantly right-handed hitters at Yankee Stadium, being a lefty. So it's a lot bigger hit to left field than what it is to the short porch at right field.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You watch Aaron Judge with his he just flicks the ball over that right field fence, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Going oppo and just flicks it away and it gets over. So
does it all the time.
They should make it back like the old Yankee Stadium was. Put that flagpole back in play, where it was like 460 to center left or something. Like that's what it should be.
Hearing you, Dave. I'm hearing you. Last one. What about this? Tennessee High School. Oh, mate. They got kicked out of the state playoffs after a kid threw a 16 strikeout no-hitter, but went 1 pitch over the pitch count limit.
Mate, you know what? It just shows that it's not just coaches in Newcastle Baseball Association, mate. They can do it anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter how professional they are. They can still get their pitch counts wrong. So
absolutely, mate. Was there a couple of those? Was there?
There were a couple of those last year, mate, in the Newcastle competition. So don't feel too bad, guys. Even the big dogs make the same mistakes.
Absolutely, mate.
But how's that poor kid? 16 strikeout no hitter.
Yeah.
And you think you've walked off and you're thinking, you beauty, I've got our team through. Thrown a no-hitter, 16 strikeouts. It's like it doesn't get much better than that. Sorry, doesn't count because you went 1 pitch over.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know how that works. Like I know here you can start the batter 1 pitch under the limit and you can throw 20 pitches over the limit as long as it's only to that one batter.
Yeah.
If they have a 21 pitch at bat. Yeah, that's right. And it doesn't matter. But I find that odd that he's gone 1 pitch over. So maybe he must have finished a batter, been 1 pitch over the limit, and then started a new batter.
Yeah.
Surely it can't be a hard cutoff.
Might be. Who knows? We'll have to have a look.
Maybe.
All right, fellas. Another week in sport, done and dusted. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for those that jumped on live and listened to our ramble.
No one wanted to ask any questions or put any shit on us?
I thought there would be quite a bit of garbage dribble comments, but
probably just means no one was watching.
Yeah, mate, there was a few watching. There was
a
few tuned in, so obviously our regulars will have to get the replay tomorrow morning like they usually do it when it goes live at 6 a.m. or whatever it usually does, but it'll be pretty much up straight away. So thanks again, fellas, and I'll talk to you blokes next week.
Too easy.